Good morning. It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining me on today's program. It is Friday, November 28th, and do we have a lot to talk about today? And yes, later on in the program, I will take your calls. You could sound off on the Iron Bowl, give me a score prediction. We can talk about Jamarcus Shepard, Alabama's wide receiver coach that is set to take the Oregon State job, which just became official, 25 minutes ago. News as it happens. There's constant news in the college football world. We're going to talk about the preview of Alabama and Auburn. I know there's a game tomorrow, but it feels like kind of all this outside noise has really taken away from a gigantic playoff play-in game at Jordan-Hare Stadium. And I feel kind of, and good morning to everybody. And when you kind of look to Jamarcus Shepard, and if you're just joining us, I know you saw this, it's officially official. Jamarcus Shepard, Alabama's wide receiver coach, will become the next head football coach at Oregon State. 5-year deal, according to Pete Thamel. And while players are, coaches are bouncing out and players are hitting the transfer portal and all this sort of stuff, and that's going to be, the recipe of, what we covered during December, I kind of go back to what Coach Saban said. And he said that this isn't necessarily like a coaching problem. It's a college football calendar problem. And as we await on Lane Kiffin's big decision on Saturday night, the college football calendar is creating all of this. Why do you have to have head football coaches leaving during the season when the team is still playing, right? And I asked you inside the comment box the impact level of this in terms of Jamarcus Shepard leaving to Oregon State. I do think it's high. I do feel that he's a good wide receiver coach. Will Alabama get somebody quality? Of course, absolutely. But I did like his energy. I do like the fire that he brings. I do like him from a offensive coordinator, assistant coordinator position. Head coaching jobs come up, and these coaches, can you really fault these guys for taking them? And who's the next coach? We'll talk about that here in a second at the wide receiver position. But I have to ask you, what would you say the impact of losing Jamarcus Shepard is on a scale of 1 to 10? And I think so far in the poll that it just reads high, medium, and low, you guys are kind of mixed between high and medium. But until they fix the college football calendar, you're going to have coaches being poached during the monumental games. Monumental games. So I don't know if Coach Shephard is going to I haven't found this out yet. I haven't read all the articles. I haven't spoken to my people. I do not know if he's going to coach in the Iron Bowl. And does that have an impact on the wide receivers? Does it have an impact on the team? I have no idea. What's up, Michael Coleman? Good to see you inside the comment box. Thank you so much. I see feedback inside the comment box ranging from 5 to 9. 6. What's up, Young C? Good to see you, bro. All right, 87 Dave with the super chat says, it's high. Dude can recruit and motivate. I'm not going to lie. I certainly like the energy and the intensity that Jamarcus Shepard brings to the table. 100%. I'm not gonna be one of these guys that's like, oh, man, it's not a big deal. I think it is a big deal. I do. I think anytime that you lose someone like this, it is a big deal. On the other side of the coin, will Alabama be able to get somebody else? 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. But I did like the energy and the intensity, and I like that dog mentality that a guy like Jamarcus Shepard has. I did like it, okay? Now, I had someone inside the comment box recently ask me, just before I started my show, they were like, well, what about the wide receiver production this year? And I was like, damn, and me, I'm never prideful enough to just be like, this is my way and I'm not going to listen to you. I always listen to you. You guys have great points. And I started thinking about it and I was like, from a production standpoint, I was like, you guys are bringing up some good points, okay? So as I look to the wide receiver production, and I put a star next to all the players that could come back for next year, okay? There's a couple guys missing from this chart. Like I don't have Derek Meadows on here and maybe a couple other guys. But how do you feel so far about the wide receiver production and development under Jamarcus Shepard? Because clearly that's another thing to think about, right? Yeah, Ryan Williams this year, 40 receptions, 598. You have Isaiah Horton. I thought he'd have way more receptions. He only has 29 for 383. Lazier Brooks, he's looked nice this year in his initial year, 23 for 332. Rico Scott, he's been pretty much invisible, right? Cole Adams barely has 5 catches for 71 yards. And then Bach, still in development, 3 for 55. So how would you guys say the development has been from the wide receiver standpoint? I mean, there's one thing talking about kind of takers, and how have they been takers on the field? I don't know. Jamarcus Shepard, his statement this morning, he says, look, I'm honored to lead Oregon State University football program and join a community that cares so deeply about its student athletes. We will build a culture rooted in toughness, integrity, and relentless effort, and I'm excited to get to work with our players, staff, and supporters to write the next chapter of Beaver football. I actually like that quote. Is that AI generated? I don't know. Jamarcus Shepard, he's a good dude. So happy for the coaches and the opportunities, and I'm kind of curious to see, like, do any players follow him? Do you go out to Oregon State? I don't know. My kind of questions surrounding this, and thank you so much for everybody that's kicking it with us right here. And again, I do hope that you had a beautiful day for Thanksgiving. I hope that you were able to spend time with your family. I hope you're eating leftovers this morning as you're watching, Ole Miss take on Mississippi State. I hope you're eating leftovers all day long. By the way, how was your Thanksgiving on a scale of 1 to 10? Sound off inside the comment box. How was your Thanksgiving on a scale of 1 to 10? My questions now about kind of the wide receiver room. Will the Iron Bowl be his last game, or is he even coaching in the Iron Bowl? Right? I don't know. Has anybody seen this? Is it out there yet? Do we know if Jamarcus Shepard is coaching in the Iron Bowl? I think that would if the guy has gone all season, been the dog with the team, done voiceovers for Alabama football, and then all of a sudden he's not coaching in the Iron Bowl, that's an impact. No, it looks like everybody had a good Thanksgiving. That's amazing. So I don't know if he's right. So yeah, and that's it. You know what? Justin Roberson brings up a good point. He's like, should he be there? Actually, that I didn't even think about that. Should he be there? I mean, he's already put out a statement. Yeah, you're right. He shouldn't be in there. Right? He shouldn't be. Let me ask you, should he be coaching in the Iron Bowl? I guess I'm going to say no. Good point, Justin. Robert Bradley saying, I don't see Shep leaving until the end of the season, honestly. I don't think he's the type to dip out. I don't know. See, Jarvis is like, give him his walking papers. I don't know. I started thinking about that. I was like, I don't know. And Jarvis's point, this is a good point, Jarvis. He's like, no, he's a distraction at this point, right? And I think this is a good point, okay? And look, I'm not saying this happens, but if the coach is already the head coach somewhere else, you got to get them out. This is it. You got to get them out of the room. You don't want him talking to other guys. And I'm not saying he's going to, but you got to protect your guys, period. And if you're coaching somewhere else, you're no longer welcomed in this circle because I don't want you talking to other guys about going out west, period. All right? So congratulations. That's it. And that's it. But I don't think you want him in that locker room anymore. Nicole Covington, good morning. Herman, what's up? I appreciate you. Amanda Jane. Michael Coleman, good to see you, bro. RK Young, what's up? Bama Panthers fan, good to see you. Bruce Williams, good morning. JT, what's up, dog? Good to see you, man. Jarvis, of course. J. Cole, good to see you, man. Jonathan Aqua, what's up? Broderick, what's going on? Ebony Williams, good morning. Appreciate you. User PR3H05PZ4M, what's up? I know something happened to the usernames. Adam Lampella, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Keno, good to see you. Rocketown. Beth James, Anna, Miss Kimberly. Yeah, we got a good crew up in here today. Thank you so much. And then I'm like, how will this impact Alabama's recruiting, right? I don't know. Because you have, you look at the wide receivers that Jamarcus Shepard helped bring in here. I don't think it necessarily hurts that much because what? You think Sadarian Morgan it just came here for Jamarcus Shepard? No, I think Sadarian Morgan came here because he's about to feast. I think Jamarcus Shepard is going to miss out on continuing to coach the guys in development. Like you miss coaching Lazier Brooks. You miss coaching Ryan Williams. You miss, developing a player like Sadarian Morgan. And Big Matt 77, I agree, bro. It does seem like Jamarcus Shepard did have a high level of impact recruiting wise. So, some of these coaches, they build up great relationships. But I think players have come to understand you don't necessarily commit to a school for the coach or for an assistant coach. You coach for the overall brand and the conference that they play in, right? All right. And my third question is, who will coach the wide receivers moving forward? I have no idea. No idea. I don't think anybody's even kind of put like a early hot board for the wide receiver coach at the University of Alabama. Which I know, the production, you could say it hasn't been what you thought it was going to be. But let's face it. I mean, they still have guys in there, ingredients in there, in that room that any other program would love to have. All right. I would admit that the production hasn't been elite from the wide receiver standpoint. But the guys in the room, I would still argue, are capable of being elite. Here's kind of a look at the overall production. I showed that one. I'll show it again. The stars indicate guys that could come back next season, like an Isaiah Horton, a Ryan Williams, a Lazier Brooks, Rico Scott, Cole Adams, Jalen Mbakwe, Derek Meadows. Don't forget about him. Jalen Hell, he's not on the board. He could come back as well. Travis, what's up, dog? He says, good morning, Kyle. If Bama loses, I think DeBoer leaving. We'll talk about that in just a second, Travis. Bring that up again then. Let me kind of finish out on Jamrcus. RK Young, what's up, man? RK Young, rather. My bad. Hey, King's family, good to see you, bro. Yeah, look, King's family, you beat me to it, man. But I saw Marquise Mays, right? It was a really big platform. People loved his game, loved his takes. This is one man who's definitely not afraid to, say what he's feeling. And he says, okay, Alabama football, it's time to hire Julio. Julio Jones as the head wide receiver coach. And me as the assistant wide receiver coach. Drop the contract and let's get it. You like this? You like Julio and Marquise? I'm not going to be, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be mad at this. Right? 87 Dave back with the super chat. Thanks, bro. If Ryan Williams dropped the Hail Mary to win the Iron Bowl, he needs to go with Shep. Come on now. You think the game's going to come down to the Hail Mary? You say that, and then you go back to the 4th and 31, which is bananas. Yo, you know what? I actually like this. Do we like this? Julio Jones and Marquise Mays. Talk about recruiting, right? Alyssa, what's up? I see you inside the comment box. Jawan, what's going on? Michael Carroll just hit us with the $10 super chat. Thank you. Feeling good, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. And we have college football today. I'm excited. Got me a little Starbucks this morning. But I'm not mad at that. What else kind of we're watching as we go forward? We are watching Kane Womack to Arkansas. And the reason I saw, you guys have seen this, right? So I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? All the days are blending because it's like all the news is crazy. But it was reported that Alex Gollish, the head football coach at South Florida, had taken the Arkansas job. And then Alex Gollish himself put out kind of a statement that said that's not necessarily true, and he's going to finish out his season with his crew. So then people started bringing out Kane Womack's name again. So that is something we're watching. Yeah, it'd be hella impactful if Kane Womack leaves. That's a 10 out of 10. The way that he's gotten this defense to play, hell yeah, that would be worrisome. Okay? And then Mo Lindquist, who's done an amazing job with the secondary, he's been mentioned for North Texas. I have no idea if he's just like a candidate or if he's doing interviews. I have no idea. All I know is that his name has been mentioned. Yes, and Rex asked about the kickoff time for Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and that game is at 11. Okay, so you guys are asking, and I'm bringing it up as you guys ask. Remember, all these shows are honestly carved like based off what I feel you would be interested to see. I put a lot of time in the graphics, and I really appreciate you guys being here. It would be, like I say, it'd be really easy for me just to do this and just talk with no graphics, with nothing. But I feel that you as the user deserve to have something to look at aesthetically. Maybe because I'm such a visual person. I know a lot of you listen at work or on the treadmill or when you were driving or whatever. But I do feel that the aesthetics kind of add to the show. I don't know. Just my take. It's just, something that I always want to give you guys a good product to look at. And do I mess up? For sure. Right? Yeah, I mean, I'm a human, but I'm always willing to like adjust graphics on the fly or come back and, take accountability for the work that we're putting in. So this is Black Friday football. You have some incredible games. We'll go one by one before we go into the Iron Bowl preview, and then I take your calls, okay? So the game at 11 a.m. is Ole Miss taking on Mississippi State. Now, Ole Miss has a percentage of 80% to win this game according to the ESPN Predictor app, and they are a 7.5-point favorite. Is there anybody inside the comment box? Is there anybody inside the comment box that thinks that Mississippi State wins this game? All right, thank you so much, 87. I appreciate it. And thank you for the feedback inside the comment box. I really appreciate it. I don't think so. It kind of seems to me like Ole Miss is going to run this thing. 7.5, maybe that's the rivalry game factor. You imagine if Mississippi State wins? Mississippi State, they've been the top 25 team before this year. They beat Arizona State, right? And then after, I guess we just wait on pins and needles for what Lane Kiffin is going to announce. This is like the biggest announcement since remember, this was, it's 20 years ago. Remember the first big announcement in sports was remember LeBron James? That was even before, was that before social media? Remember when he came on, he was like, I'm taking my talents to this is like that. Is Lane Kiffin going to say I'm taking my talents to LSU or I'm keeping my talents here at Ole Miss? I know there's a small percentage of you that's hoping Lane Kiffin comes over here to Alabama, right? All right, at 2:30, you got Georgia taking on Georgia Tech. Last year, that game was crazy. Y'all remember that game? But the line right now is 14.5. And I can understand why. I mean, Georgia is playing like an absolute buzzsaw. I don't know if we have beer can baddies up inside the comment box. He's a Georgia fan. Gunnar Stockton has been playing outstanding. This Georgia team has been rolling. And we'll see what happens today. But 14.5, that game's at 2:30. And then at 7:30, we have a damn good game. We have Texas A&M taking on Texas. The game is in Austin. It's 2.5 for A&M. I'm going to ask you inside the comment box, who wins this game? A&M or Texas? Type T for Texas and type T for Texas A&M. I'm just kidding. Type A for Texas A&M and type T for Texas. Patriot Life, my boy, up in Chattanooga. What's up, man? Kyle, you've always been on your game. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate you too, Patriot Life. Yeah, good to see you, man. I love that Script Day hat you got on, man. Yeah, hopefully that you had a great Thanksgiving were you in Chattanooga, Patriot Life, for Thanksgiving? All right, everybody's typing in T for Texas. I said T for both of them, but I guess I'll drink some more Texas Kool-Aid. I'll take the Longhorns again. Even though Mike just said F the Longhorns, turn up Mike. I don't know. I'm going for the drama factor. I'll go for Texas to beat Texas A&M and for Alabama to beat Auburn and for Alabama to play Georgia in the SEC title game. We'll go for the most dramatic endings in college football, right? And thanks again for the super chat, y'all. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right. Yes, there's a game this weekend. All right. Right? There's a game. All the distractions have been crazy. Crazy amount of distractions. So, yes, there is a game this weekend. It's called the Iron Bowl. All right. And I do feel it's been unfortunate because we've had to think about a bunch of other distractions. You imagine being in that locker room? I would have said no phones, no social media for a week. We are just dialing in to Auburn. All this stuff can live in your mind. You know how social media is. It gets in your mind. It just like seeps and like takes over. It's intense. But this game, so much on the line. But I have to give a quick shout out to Antonio Cortez Jr. All right. We have Antonio inside the comment box. He sent me this photo of their newborn. All right. A new Alabama football fan. All right. And you got to check out what his shirt says. It says, Auburn smells like my diaper. So congratulations to the Cortez family. Could I get a thumbs up for the Cortez family? Young Antonio Cortez, welcome to this world, bro. We are excited to have you as a new Alabama football fan. You're getting off to an amazing start. Your family clearly cares about you because that shirt is absolutely fire, right? Auburn smells like my diaper is incredible. That's a cute baby, too. Yeah, so thank you, Antonio, for sending in this picture and for allowing us to use it. We really appreciate you, and I think it's beautiful to welcome in new life to this world, right? All right, so on to the Iron Bowl. All right, as you know, the injury report was pretty much the same as it came out on Thursday night. Cam Howard all the way down to Jeremiah Beeman. Those guys are out for this game. Probable on the right. Jordan Bernard, QB Reese, and Parker Brailsford. This is updated every single night starting Wednesday through Friday at 7:11 p.m., okay? And the two biggest names clearly on the left are Kevin Riley and Josh Cuevas. Those guys being out, I mean, clearly you know that Kevin Riley is the third running back on this team and what he brings to the table in terms of like a speed-type running back. We like him. And you got Josh Cuevas, which is clearly a really big loss for this game. Not having him, you're going to have to rely on some younger talent at the tight end room in a big game like this. We've seen big guys, big-time freshmen step up in games, but not having Josh Cuevas is big. Look for Caleb Edwards, Marshall Pritchett, Brody Dalton, maybe those guys to be tight ends. But I do feel that is impactful. I just honestly do. And then we better pray that Jeremy Bernard is good to go. Because him and Parker Brailsford are absolute must in terms of those guys playing in this game. They're like a level 10 out of 10 of importance, okay? Josh Cuevas is probably like a 7. So I would imagine like probable. We've had Ryan on the probable list a couple times. It probably means like 75% close to those guys playing. So I would rest easy and feel that those guys are good to go come game time. So I broke down who has the edge. All right, between the two teams. And if you saw Wake Up Bama, I covered this briefly. I won't spend too much time on this, but I'll point a couple different things out, and then I'm going to take calls in about 7 minutes, okay? So Alabama, in terms of pass offense, clearly has the edge. 292 yards per game. Sometimes, like right now where we live at, we're like Ty Simpson slumping. The offense isn't doing what we want it to do, but the statistical information still is solid. Top 10 passing team in the nation is huge for anybody, right? You compare that to Auburn's pass offense that is only averaging 191. They're ranked 104 in the nation. That's a big discrepancy, right? Alabama can pass the football. Auburn has struggled throwing the ball. They've had 3 different quarterbacks rotate. You will get Ashton Daniels, who did throw for over 300 yards in his last performance. We'll see if he can do that against Alabama's pass defense. The run offense, as you can see, Alabama 123 per game, which is 107, a terrible number for the Tide, compared to Auburn's run offense, which is 179, which is 43rd in the nation. Auburn is a team that can run the ball. But in the last game that they played, man, they were running a lot of 5-wide sets, to be honest. The pass defense, Alabama has a huge edge right here, only allowing 148 per game, which is 4th in the nation. Outstanding. And look at this. Maybe Alabama could take advantage of Auburn's secondary, which ranks 98th in the country, allowing 239 yards per game. That's huge right here, right? And then the run defense, Alabama 32 in the nation, allowing 121. And I think we can all agree that Alabama's run defense has greatly improved. They've cut down on the chunk yardage plays. Auburn's run defense is stout, ranked 11th in the country, allowing less than 100 yards, right? So I don't think I would be really shocked if kind of the storyline is that Alabama dominates Auburn by running the football. I think we all know what it comes down to. I put at the bottom special teams in terms of just the kicker. Connor Talty is 11 of 18 on field goals, whereas Alex McPherson of Auburn is 18 of 21. Very, very good field goal kicker that Auburn has. And I put home field, of course, Jordan Hare. So if you go off this simple page, it might give you a little bit more of anxiety, which I didn't want to do, but this is, this is it. This is where we're at. And these are all statistical information. It's like, this isn't like just my thoughts. These are literally the stats, comparatively speaking. We all know that it comes down to Ty Simpson. I think when you hear Coach Saban speak on Saturday, my prediction and what Coach says is that Coach says it's the quarterback that makes the least amount of mistakes can lead his team to a victory. 100%, man. And look, Ty everybody's watching every throw. This guy's been on the struggle bus, and he has an amazing opportunity to still do a lot of things that this team wanted to do, including win a national championship, okay? It all starts with this game. It's quarter by quarter. Alabama, for that kind of middle part of the season, they weren't plagued by turnovers. They took care of the ball. They won time of possession. If they can go back to that script, this team will beat Auburn. This team will win the SEC title game. But can they get back to there? Because there's some sort of disconnection. And Ryan Grubb coming to the sideline, while I think it makes sense in terms of wanting to talk to his quarterback, show leadership, I also do think it screams that it's clear something's going wrong with the Alabama offense. Why would he just all of a sudden change, right? At least he's being proactive, and at least he's doing something different, but that is cause of concern to me. Why are things changing right now at the back end of the season when things should be tightened up at the back end of the season? It's like, I would imagine Matt Patricia for Ohio State is on the sideline, be like, all of a sudden he's going to start coaching in the box. You're like, what's going on, right? My final take for this game, and I'll take your calls next. Both teams are battle-tested, 100%. Alabama with the schedule that they played, Auburn through the crap that they've gone through. Auburn has also played a challenging schedule, plus they lost their coach. Imagine being in that locker room, right? Both teams are battle-tested mentally. Bama has much more at stake, clearly. They lose this game, they're out of the playoffs. Auburn really has nothing to lose. They're playing for like a meaningless bowl game and for bragging rights. Comes down to, can Bama block out all this noise that we've been talking about all week, right? Can they block out coaches leaving? Can they block out playoff talk? Can they block out SEC outcomes? Can they block out all the noise about DeBoer going to Penn State, all this other stuff? Can they block it all out? I hope they can. Turnovers will dictate the outcome of this game, in my opinion, right? Alabama 17, Auburn 13. That's my final score. Alabama 17, Auburn 13. How you feel about the score? 17-13. I got it under the total points of like 46 or whatever it is. Give me Bama 17, Auburn 13. Common opponents. Alabama lost to Oklahoma 23-21. Auburn lost to Oklahoma by a touchdown. Alabama beat Georgia by 3. Auburn lost to Georgia by 10. Alabama beat Missouri by 3. Auburn lost to Missouri in overtime. Alabama beat Vanderbilt 30-14. Auburn lost to Vandy in overtime. This isn't a terrible team. The most that this team has lost all season long is by 10 points, okay, which was to Georgia. As you know, fam, this video is powered by our friends at Sleeper. When you download the app, you get $20 upon just downloading the app. Get a $100 deposit up to $100 when you use the promo code, which is simply tailgate. Okay, so tailgate. Please use the promo code and please support Sleeper because they support your boy right here on Bama Football on YouTube, as does Tickpick. Okay, so download the app. The promo code for Tickpick is HMA. You go into a concert, you go into a festival, you want to surprise your loved one with some tickets, go to Tickpick. You know what to do. Use the promo code, which is HMA, but you got to download the app to do it. All right. Other things that I'm watching for, this is like the chaos scenarios, okay, is Jed Fish from Washington. He takes the Florida job, which would mean Washington becomes open, and then you have Ryan Grubb going out to coach Washington. You have Kalen DeBoer packing his bags and going to Penn State, and you have Kiffin to Bama. Could it all happen? I don't think so, okay? But where we're at in college football right now, who the hell knows, okay? So I have no idea. The call-in line is officially open, 205-850-1994. Please call in. I want to hear from you today. And our first call is coming to you from beautiful Montclair, New Jersey. Chris Golden Mashed Potato is on the line. Chris, what's up, bro? Welcome on in.
Nice intro, Kyle. Jeez, I feel great. I sent you a picture of the potatoes. I think you responded.
I saw the potatoes. It was between posting the mashed potatoes that you saw, which you made, which looked amazing, by the way. So thank you for sending. But then I got the picture of Austin Cortez's baby. So I was like, man, you know.
No, that baby has to be on. Come on. I like that shirt. I'd get that shirt in adult form. Listen. DeBoer is going nowhere. And, you know, I got to tell you, it's the productivity of our wide receiver room. It's clearly the most talent in the country. I don't think Shepherd. I know this is going to be controversial. I don't think Shepherd leaving hurts us at all. It might even help us if Julio Jones or Marquise Mays takes that spot. That, in my personal opinion, that's a major upgrade. Major. So especially Julio. I mean, come on, Julio is like the godfather of the Saban era. So. Godfather. Oh, here we go. We're Max here comes the mob chat, stuff in the chat. So I'm going in a little different direction. I'm going 37-14.
Ooh.
And I'm saying that Ty has the game of the season, and he connects on multiple touchdown passes. And you know, I'll say this: Cuevas does hurt. That does hurt. So, anyway, but I'm pumped. So it was a nice Thanksgiving, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Watch party. There's some college football on later. So, you know, I'm sure everybody had a wonderful time. So, Kyle, I know there's people behind me. So my best to you, my best to the undefeated. Roll Tide.
All right, Roll Tide team, man. Thanks for calling in as always, Chris. All right, Chris calling in. We go to 850. We'll take it right now. Hey, thanks for calling. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on line with? Where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle. It's Parker from Pensacola.
What's up, Parker? I appreciate you calling in, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving yesterday. So I would consider that the playoffs start Saturday, right?
Playoffs.
I mean, for Alabama, would y'all agree with me that the playoffs start Saturday? Win you're in, lose you're done.
Playoffs. You remember that soundboard, Parker? Remember? Look. Yes, they're in the playoffs. 100% agree. And the crazy thing is I kind of feel like Alabama almost has to play 2 playoff play-in games to get into the playoffs, right? It's like you need ID to get ID. If I had ID, I wouldn't need ID. So, look, yeah, it's an uphill climb for Alabama. That's okay. The other 9-2 teams don't have to do that. But Alabama has to, right? There's always like an extra little, they have to run the ball and they have to win a title game to get in. I do feel that this is a playoff game 100%, and that's what puts a lot more pressure on it. But it's been a playoff game before. We've been talking about the noise, but we don't know if the team is hearing the noise. And we'll see on Saturday if they can go to Jordan Hare and pull out a must win. Must win. Doesn't matter how much you win by. It's a must win game. What else you got, Parker?
I mean, it's just how bad do we want it? How bad do they? I mean, they can't play sloppy football on Saturday night. Do you really want this? Do you really want this? And if they really want it, they got to go get it. I mean, and I just hope it doesn't come down to a kick.
Yeah, I think that's a terrifying thought, is if this game does come down to a kick for either team, right? I think Auburn has confidence in their kicker, and Alabama knows the statistics around their kicker. I predict it'll be close. Chris from New Jersey doesn't think it will be close. What about you? What's your score prediction, Parker?
I don't even really want to predict anything, but I think Alabama 17, Auburn 10.
17-10. I'm not mad at that score. That's kind of around my score. I think it'll be more low scoring. 17-10, I'm down with it. Parker, anything else, bro?
Whoever has the ball last is going to win, maybe. I just hope it doesn't go into overtime. But if it goes into overtime, you always want the ball second.
Yeah, overtime in college is wild. It makes a lot more sense in the NFL. The overtime rules in college, it's a little bit more chaotic how they have the rules. But I appreciate you calling in, man. We'll see what happens and call again next time. As always, Parker.
Roll Tide, y'all.
All right, roll Tide, bro. All right, Timothy calling from the road. Let's see if he's still in DeSoto. Timothy, what's up, bro? You still on the road for DeSoto? Give us the truck update. You good to go? Where you at?
I'm in Houston right now. Houston, Texas.
Okay, you're in. So we got Timothy calling from Houston. He's on the road a lot. Sometimes he's in Springfield. I think one time he's out in Idaho. I think he was in DeSoto lately, and now he's in Houston. So we have Timothy calling from H-Town. Come with it, man.
Yes, sir. Okay, so I wrote down on my notepad the college football playoff bracket, and this is a hot take, and this makes total sense. The 10 spot will not be in any danger. The 9 spot is in the most danger right now because if Alabama, because who's behind Notre Dame? If Alabama wins Saturday, goes to the SEC championship game, beats Texas A&M, and BYU beats Texas Tech, this would be my bracket. Number 1 is Indiana because I got them beating Ohio State. I just do. I don't really like Ohio State. They haven't played nobody. I got Ohio State. Number 2, Alabama 3, Georgia 4 because they didn't play nobody, Texas A&M 5, BYU 6, Oregon 7, Ole Miss, Oklahoma 8, depending on Lane Kiffin leaving or not, Texas Tech 9, Ole Miss, Oklahoma 10, whichever one, swap those, SMU 11, and Tulane 12. That would mean that Notre Dame would be out because their resume compared to Texas Tech would be a no-go. Texas Tech would be in Notre Dame, and Notre Dame fans would probably be crying in the comments and crying just like Florida State fans were crying in 2023. I just wanted to get that out of the way. But Kyle, this game, I'm pumped for it. This game is the game for our defense to show the country how good we can truly be. We have been top 10 lately in turnovers, third down conversions, allowing big plays. Like, we have been really good on defense this year. My score prediction is going to be close to Chris from New Jersey. I got 30-3. It's just I don't really see a freshman quarterback doing really much to this defense. He saw Vanderbilt, and we demolished Vanderbilt. So, I see them struggling, and if they do struggle, who will they go to? I think Jackson Arnold has lost their entire trust, so I think he's going to be like a fourth bench kind of guy. This team, just like Parker said, how bad do you truly want it? Because if you really want it, it is there for you. You have the easiest path to the playoffs and also the hardest path because if you lose, you're out. So I think DeBoer will get his team ready. It will be in the most hostile, most haunted place on earth, which is the barn. And it's just, I believe that if Ty Simpson can just make good decisions, that's my MVP, his decision-making. Not his throwing, his decision-making. If he can throw the ball away and tuck it and run for 5-6 yards, we got that in the bag. And I think our running game is going to come out. I think it's going to have a coming out party. I think Daniel Hill is going to have at least 100 yards this game, and that's going to be my second MVP. But check out, I got Alabama winning 30-3.
33. All right, man. Appreciate it, man. Be safe on the road, Timothy. Thanks for calling in, bro. All right, we go back to the phone lines, and we got a 478. Hey, Q, is that you?
It's Alyssa Mitchell from Macon, Georgia.
All right, welcome, Alyssa, calling from Macon, Georgia. We appreciate you. We hope that how was your time? Recap your time, because you and your husband came to the game against Eastern Illinois. Give us a quick recap of your time in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, it was great. We did get into Chuck's. We took your advice, and we went up to the sushi bar.
Awesome.
And we got sat, immediately.
Great.
So that was great. And, of course, the game was great. Just to let you know, I don't know how it appeared on television, but not the entire stadium was booing the kicker. It was the student section. I just wanted to throw that out there just to let y'all know.
Yeah, to us on the TV broadcast, it seemed like the entire world was booing him. So thanks for clarifying that.
I could imagine that. I had to let y'all know it was
okay.
It was the student section, but yeah.
So we have so many things that are distracting us from the actual game that is happening, but we have a football game on Saturday, right?
Yes. Okay. So that's what I'm here to talk about. Clearly you never want to be in a must-win situation, right, with your back up against the wall. But you guys, here it is, and here we are. And additionally, like we've been saying all week, Auburn is not what their record says they are. We've taken a deep dive, and they either got screwed by the refs or they've lost by one possession, some of those which were in overtime. This, on top of the fact that we have to go to the haunted barn, puts lots of odds against us. But we need some thunder and we need some positivity, you guys. So let me ask y'all something. What does Alabama do when we're backed into a corner? We come out swinging. What do we do when the committee and the entire nation wants to count us out? We force them to continue to have to look at our script A. No committee or hater is going to dictate when Alabama football is done. We're in control of that, and we're not done. One of my favorite sayings from Nick Saban is iron sharpens iron. This bowl was named the Iron Bowl for a reason. This is our bowl. Tomorrow night, we continue to stack our collection of bets because we're caging a tiger and solidifying our spot in the SEC championship at Bama 27, Auburn 16.
Love it. Love it. Great call as usual. We appreciate it. Enjoy the game on Saturday, and thanks for always calling in, Alyssa.
All right. Roll Tide, y'all.
Roll Tide to you. All right, good call. Always speaking facts. Is one of our top callers who always kind of sets it straight. Huge Alabama football fan, and I think she brings up some really good points. I mean, as many times as you get someone like Hunter Yurachek, right, from the playoff sitting committee, and they kind of add on all these other elements to the criteria and kind of rules as you go. Isn't it always funny? They're going to have to address the situation that Alabama, when they win this game, that they're playing in the SEC title game, and then they'll come up with some other rule. They'll be like, well, you don't, just because you made the SEC title game the hardest conference in college football, that still isn't enough. You know what I'm saying? You look at Alabama's conference record, if they're able to beat Auburn, that should stand on itself, right? What would they be, 8-1 in conference play? I mean, yeah, try that. It's very challenging to do for anybody, especially a second-year coach that's going through that's supposedly already packed up and going to Penn State, right? So we'll see. Very good call. All right, 601. Let's do it. Yo, Jarvis. Yo, Javion. Javion always calls.
Yeah.
Man, you are literally,
Man.
if this is our lineup for baseball, you are literally going after like Barry Bonds, man. So look, you're going to get every time, man. It works out. You call after
I said,
Alyssa.
why you going? I'm like, why can't do it to me? Why you had to do it to me? Like, why me? Like, listen, I love you. You got to start calling after me.
Yeah, man. Always in the lineup. You are so we got our power hitter. And look, everybody has respect for the fifth, hitter in the lineup, but man, a tough act to follow, bro. Javion, where are you calling in from right now, bro? Because you're out of course, Pensacola, but where are you calling out of?
I'm actually at home in Houston now.
Okay, so because you moved right to Houston.
Yeah, I moved to Houston. Yeah.
And how's
Katie texted me outside of Houston. So.
Okay, Katie. And how's it treating you out there? You like settled in? You guys
Man,
comfortable?
Kyle, the food, it's amazing out here. I'm not gonna lie. And then,
you know what I heard about?
I
heard the food in Houston is like extraordinary. Is that true?
Kyle, this food is immaculate.
Yep, that's
it
what I
is
heard.
immaculate out here. Like, and for me, since I've been on this food diet for 2 or 3 years now. So Monday through Friday, I eat nothing but fruits, a bag of chips or something like that. Like I don't eat any food from Monday through Friday, unless I'm at home. If I'm at home, I'll eat, but I don't eat until the weekend. And I've been doing that for a while now.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say one more thing before I get back to the football. My youngest daughter, she's 8. She has ADHD, and Texas honored that as a disability. Florida did not. That's something I didn't know ahead of time. So the school district we're in is amazing for my daughter. So, and that's one thing I love about it. My wife, she's big on that. So.
Well, that's good. I'm glad things have worked out well in transition, because I think sometimes in transitional phases in life, it takes a lot of courage to make a transition, right? Sometimes I think we're scared to actually make the move. But if it's for your family, then you got to man up and you got to be able to make those decisions. So I'm happy for you, bro. All right, so we got the game. We got the Iron Bowl. Come with it, man. What you got?
Kyle, I want to say this game is on the offense. This game is not on defense. This game is strictly on the offense. If the offense plays good, we'll win this game. It's not hard at all. It's not rocket science. If the offense plays good, we're going to win this game. Because the defense cannot keep bailing out the offense for mistakes. Same way we did against Texas A&M. We're going to play them. The reason why I say that because we're going to play them. Like, unless Texas beat them, we're going to play them. But we can get Oklahoma. I believe in Ty. I believe in Ron Williams. Seeing those interviews that they big come out on Tuesday, seeing the interviews, I mean, it makes me believe in them. I believe in them every week, even though I lost. I believe in them. It's up to them. Their decision making it's up to the running backs as well. The running backs and O-line to take pressure off Ty. Because under the rest, at the beginning of the season, under the rest, Ty has been good under the rest. Towards the end, it seems as if he panics once he get pressure. So if Ty has a clean pocket and Cole Cuban and Roman Harper ready to take, when East Illinois they got to Ty in rushing 3, and Cole Cuban said if they get to Ty only rushing 3, Auburn's going to have a field day.
Yep.
And there will be an issue.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in, man. As always, I'm going to get to my next caller, man. But enjoy your great weekend of football. I mean, game starting here at 11. So enjoy it, man. And, of course, call in on the post game, Javion. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, Kyle. Love you, Kyle.
All right, love you too,
God's grace.
There you go. All right, man. Always, man. Javion, that's how he's always ended the show, is God's the greatest, which I like, clearly. You know, we've had callers, throughout the years that I've always had something that kind of associates with them. Our next caller, actually, he used to be named Free Mike, right? And then we changed it recently to Turn Up Mike, and he got named that because he's into turnips and growing them in L.A. So let's see where he's calling from today. We got Mike, Turnip Mike, calling in. Mike, where you at? Where are you at today?
Good morning. I am in L.A., man. I am in Choctaw County, Alabama. And if any of your listeners know where that is, it will blow my mind, to be honest with you. But I'm in Alabama, dude, ready for the big weekend, ready for the big game. But one question, I'll ask you one question, Kyle. Guess what's for lunch and dinner today, man?
Are we having turnips?
We're having turnips and we're having leftovers. Yes, yes, we are, man.
So are these turnips kind of like a sweet potato consistency? Is that what we're aiming for, or is it something completely different?
Turnips are like eating a bowl of weeds. I mean, it is. Here's turnips. I mean, they're not the most delicious. I'll be honest with you, man. Turnips are not the most delicious thing there is. They're probably the worst vegetable you can put on your plate, but they're really good for you. And they grow good around Alabama, and they're cheap, and they're just like Popeye eating the spinach. Well, there's something to that. You know what I mean? That's turnips are the Alabama spinach. So, but definitely today's leftover day, man. Turkey, leftover dressing, leftover gravy, and leftover vegetables and turnips. So that's probably going to be the lunch menu for the next week, obviously, probably. But
well, let me ask you, before you get to the Iron Bowl, give me your assessment on the game taking place in the third slot with Texas and Texas A&M.
It's going to be an epic game, man, because I think Texas A&M is a little better than Texas. But Texas in the last few games, I mean, Arch Manning's starting to shine a bit, and they're starting to find their rhythm. But they do have a lot of vulnerabilities, like their defensive backfield. I guess it's kind of like Auburn, their defensive, backfield that Texas A&M can exploit. And, dude, I'll be honest with you about Texas A&M. Some people are up on them, some people are down on them, but they're 10-0, I think it is, and they've won every game, and they have a SEC schedule, and they're good, dude. So I'm going to take nothing away from Texas A&M, but I'll make a prediction and say that Texas A&M is going to beat Texas tonight in Austin. But it's really 50-50, man, because in the past few games, Texas has found their rhythm. Arch again owns a hot seat, like everybody else in the country's on the hot seat. They kind of found it, but it's going to be a good game. But do you know the controversy about Texas is not allowing Texas A&M to bring their dog? You know that little collie Reveille that Texas A&M takes everywhere? Texas Longhorns have banned him from the stadium. So they're not allowed to bring their little dog, man. So just that alone makes me want Texas to lose. You know what I mean?
Wow, not dog friendly, huh? Interesting. By the way, Robert Bradley Jr. is close to Choctaw County, just a FYI. And then a lot of people are asking about Jamarcus Shepard. Yes, Jamarcus Shepard officially is hired at Oregon State. I know people don't always get the news at the same time, so if people are coming in, we did talk about it at the beginning of the show, Arnett and Neil. So if you want to just quickly rewind, I think my opening was like 10 minutes. It was mostly on Jamarcus Shepard, on kind of the impact. But yes, he is the next football coach at Oregon State, and we've presented some questions in that regard. All right, Mike, turn up, Mike. Give us your take on the Iron Bowl.
The Iron Bowl, man, once again, Kyle, is it just my imagination, or is every week in the SEC a must-win game for everybody? I mean, there's no margin of error. And once again, we're in a must-win game. But, I mean, I think we're better than Auburn. Well, I know we are. We're in a better place than they are. We got more coaching stability. But like we all know, with the Iron Bowl, it's over there in Auburn, and so anything could happen, man. So I really think Bama's going to be mentally prepared to play. Hopefully our running game found a little rhythm and got a little confidence, at least after last week's 7-touchdown performance. And if you might remember, Kyle, I told you last month that our running game is going to win us a game. It did win us a game, but it's the Eastern Illinois game. You know what I mean? I was hoping we'd save it for the playoffs, but anyway, our running game, they seem to find a little rhythm, and again, I think Ty Simpson, somebody mentioned it earlier, Ty Simpson's poised for a good game. I think he's just ready for a good game. And Auburn is susceptible to the pass. And we have a good wide receiver course. And on the coach getting the Oregon State job, congratulations to him, man. I mean, it's very deserving. We have one of the top wide receiver cores in the nation, and he has a lot to do with that. I think he had a lot, to help develop Ryan Williams and Jeremy Menard and some of these guys. So I say congratulations, Jamarcus Shepard. It's a great opportunity for him, and I hope he kills it. And I hope he's very successful up there, man. But as far as the Iron Bowl, dude. We should beat Auburn. We're better than Auburn. Who knows what's going to happen? With these, I know the only the trump card they have, I guess, is going to be the unknown quarterback position because they got that 5-star quarterback that blew it up last week, and the other guy that they brought in, they finally benched Jackson Arnold. They did that about a year too late, but that's just a major unknown. But once again, we're faced with a must-win game. Every game in the SEC is a must-win game. Even Texas A&M, man, look, dude, they're undefeated, but they got a must-win game in Texas just to go to the championship game. That's how something the Big Ten doesn't have to worry about, by the way. But I feel pretty good about where we're at. I feel pretty good about us being better than Auburn, like I mentioned, and I think we're going to win. I don't expect a 42-17. I expect more like maybe a 24-17 or a 20-17 or something like that. So, but again, man, we got to win. And as far as all these coaching changes, Kyle, I've heard so many theories, and just to follow up on your theory, with DeBoer going to Penn State, well, on the second half of that story that I don't know if you mentioned this or not because I came aboard late on the show today, but they're saying that Lane Kiffin is just waiting for DeBoer to get out, so Lane Kiffin wants the Bama job, and so that's the second half of the story that I'm getting. That Lane Kiffin really wants to come to Tuscaloosa, so he's waiting to see what DeBoer is going to do, and I don't know, just Again, Kyle, must win for DeBoer because he's on the second he took the job, he's on the hot seat. He's been on the hot seat ever since. And if he loses this Auburn game, that we're better than Auburn, man. We're better than Oklahoma. We're better than Florida State. If we lose these games, something is up with the coaching. I've always been pro DeBoer. DeBoer's an excellent coach. I always support the coaches, no matter who it is. I support them till the decision's made not to do so anymore. But DeBoer's got to win this game. I mean, for the team, for himself. But as far as the coaching rumors, man, I'm just going to let them play out because, there's going to be some coaching changes. Too many good jobs open. So the dominoes are going to fall. And they're probably going to start falling after this weekend because the season's going to be over after this weekend. So for a lot of people anyway, hopefully not us. But yeah, man, it's just we're going to beat Auburn. I feel good about us beating Auburn. Hopefully we do.
Thanks for the call, Mike. I appreciate it, man. Roll Tide to you. All right, that was Mike down in L.A. with the turn-ups for lunch. We got 512. We'll go to it right now. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're on line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, this is Auburn Poole, man, from Austin, Texas. How are you, man?
What's up, Arvin? I appreciate you, man. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Come with it, Arvin.
Yeah, come with it. All right. I'm on the highway, man. I told you I was going to be driving to the game. So I'm actually going through Mobile, about to hit this long bridge. I think you all know the bridge I'm talking about. It's about a 15-hour drive for me, so I've been on the road for about 12 hours. So anyway, let's get straight to the prediction. So, Kyle, I have a question for you. So do you know how many games we have actually covered? Out of all the games, without looking at your numbers.
No, I don't. Good. Yeah, I'd have to go to my stat man Jarvis or someone else. What you got, Arvin?
So we're 7-3-1.
Oh, okay.
And we have covered. Yeah, we've covered by at least 2.5 points, which is not aggressive, but it says that hey, the Vegas, picking the game's pretty good. I'm not going off of Vegas, but I do want to say this. I think this is our time to shine. We have a lot more at stake at this game than Auburn does, but of course Auburn's going to come in with their trick plays and all these things. But I think we will prevail. There's some redemption I think that Ty has spoke to this week. I'm thinking he's definitely going to come out here and put up some big numbers. I'm going with a 30-17. That's my number. I think we're definitely going to score over. We're going to be on the plus side of the over for points, and we're definitely going to cover that spread, man. So that's where I feel like we're going to be.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like the stat addition too. 7-3-1. I appreciate that. That'll be a number that sticks in my head. You got like an X factor or like a game MVP or anything like that before I let you go?
Yeah, I can't. I was going to put Ryan Williams in the spot, man, but I think AK Deer, man, is going to be back today, and I just feel like he may not be the MVP, but he's going to attribute to keeping our pass game open.
Yeah.
I like the way he performed in the last game. I know it was against Eastern Illinois, but definitely a showstopper there. One more thing before I hang up. Question for you about the SEC championship game.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about this. What are your thoughts on just getting rid of all conference matchups? I think it's a distraction. I just want to get your thought on it, and then I'm out.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll answer on the other line, bro. Be safe on the road, Auburn, by the way, man. Be safe on that bridge.
Okay.
In terms of like conference championship games, I think we're getting close to just bouncing on them because I think it's almost like, and I think depending on the outcomes of this particular SEC title game with Alabama, I think until you have all teams that are eligible for the playoffs playing in like a, conference championship game, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, there's no way in hell that Notre Dame should just get to end their season at 10-2. Like, what happened if Alabama just beat Auburn? They were done. Now Alabama has to go and play another playoff play-in game. Why? And Notre Dame doesn't have to. So I think that we kind of, went away from starting to go away from like the bowl games. Those are meaningless now. And I think eventually you just go away from the conference championship games. And you just go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however you finished out. And I think that would kind of nullify some of the success that Notre Dame has had kind of getting into the playoffs, because then they'd be like, oh, crap, like these other conferences are doing the same thing that we've been doing for, the last few years and kind of sneaking in through the back door. So that's my take on that. We got an 850. We'll take it now. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're on with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with? Where are we calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, it's Cody from Crestview, Florida.
Hey, Cody, what's up, man? I appreciate you calling in, man. Come with it.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too, bro. Yeah, you too here, bro.
Anyway, I was thinking about two things. One, I think these coaching hires are a big distraction to teams these days, as I kind of have this strange feeling with, Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin and the LSU and Florida guessing. I really think now with like Kalen DeBoer thinking of that rumors with the Penn State job, really, to be honest, I think it's causing distractions with teams that are on the verge of, getting into the playoffs or getting into the title championship picture. I still think that, all these coaching jobs is basically just bombarding the headlines over than okay, we got to focus on the game. We got to focus on the title picture. We got to focus on this. I think everything is just discombobulated just because of one headline coaching job. Thoughts on that, Kyle?
Yeah, 100%. And by the way, Justin Crislow is reporting that Kiffin is either down to staying at Ole Miss or going to LSU. I think a lot of people already know that, but just kind of reiterating that. So people, if they still think that there's a shot for Florida, I never thought that Florida was really even going to be like a serious contender. But I completely agree with you, Cody. Is Coach Saban said, it's a college football calendar issue, not necessarily a Lane Kiffin or Jamarcus Shepard. Like, these are the calendar windows that they created, and the coaches have to be able to make moves because of the recruiting class is coming up here in a couple weeks. So they got to get the new head coach out there. But just like Coach Saban said, he's like, in the NFL, you cannot talk to another coach until that team is completed its season, right? So there needs to be another window where we take care of that. But, I mean, it is what it is right now. What else you got, Cody?
I still think because I did listen to what Nick Saban had to say, and I think what happened is you look at Ohio State and Michigan and all that stuff. I think Nick Saban hit it right on the nail. I'd rather win a national championship than beat Michigan, to be honest, because I think Ohio State needs to go see a doctor because of their losing to Michigan. But I still think Nick Saban had it right on the coffin. It's just that the whole Penn State and Kalen DeBoer, I mean, come on. DeBoer knows he's got the resources. He's got a $12 million contract at Alabama. He's got boosters. He's got support, and you can't have a bigger fan base than the University of Alabama. Penn State is a nobody team. You think their boosters has as much money as we do? Just because we have the titles, we have, the places to eat that's not even far from Tuscaloosa. And we got the biggest fan base. We're always supportive. We have a culture going on in Alabama. It's been like that for a long time. And we all feel happy being Alabama fans because guess what? We win. All we do is piss people off because we win. That's all we do. We know nothing else but to be great at everything that we do. That's why Alabama's motto, strive for greatness. That's why we have to be this way. But I don't see Kalen DeBoer ever going to Penn State. That Penn State job, someone else needs to take it because I still think, like, nobody said Dan Lanning hasn't been called to do any jobs since the day he got the Oregon job. I said, well, okay, if that's the case, go hire one of these guys like from, Tulane or Pitt or whatever, just to be a Penn State head coach. But thoughts on that, Kyle? Because I think the SEC coach is not it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll answer on the other line, Cody, but I appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yep, take it easy, bro. Enjoy the college football today. I've talked about this whole Kalen DeBoer and Penn State stuff. And what's up, Byron? Good to see you. Miss Ebony, good to see you as well inside the comment box. Michael Fortenberry, I know you've been active inside the comment box as well. Michael, I would highlight your comments more, but your avatar, I'm like, I saw the avatar and I was like, oh, I want to highlight him because you are making some good points, but a little too spicy. So just in case you're wondering. But, man, this whole DeBoer to Penn State thing is like, I really don't see it happening. Whoever started these rumors are getting better and better because it's even starting to creep into my mind. If like, seriously, I've talked to people and they're like, there's no way in hell that happens, Kyle. But I'm like starting to think about it. I'm like, man, is this really going down? I don't know. All right, we got 469 up inside the call log. Let's take it. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with? Him? Where you calling him from?
What up, Cal? This Q.
What's up, Q? How you doing, dog? Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Doing all right.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate the super chat a little while ago, too, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, yes, sir. I don't know what that guy talking about food in Houston. He better look around. That's all I'm saying, man. He better look around. But anyway, man, listen here. If it's a rumor, that means someone's thinking about it. With DeBoer, if it's a rumor that comes out, that means somebody's been thinking about it. Either him or his team. I don't think nobody just made up, DeBoer want to leave Alabama. No. It's been offered or he's thinking about it real heavy for it to come out. And my thing is, say Lane Kiffin leave Ole Miss, right? Mm-hmm. And he don't coach them in the playoffs if they make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
No one else can say anything else about players transferring. Mm-hmm. You ain't got nothing else to say about players transferring.
Yeah.
Because if a coach can leave right here during this time of the season, before your playoff game, before your bowl game, and go to a whole nother school and leave somebody else to coach that team, no one else can say anything else about players transferring.
Mm-hmm.
Leave them alone.
Yep.
Because if a coach can do that, guess what? Players should be able to do it too. and coaches are held to a higher standard than what players are.
Yep.
So there shouldn't be the debate of, they shouldn't be able to transfer like that is over.
Mm-hmm.
No more about that.
Mm-hmm.
And with this Iron Bowl, people, I've been telling y'all last week, relax, man. Relax. We're going to go down there. We're going to put that ass to Auburn and go to the playoffs. That's just how it is. I don't think we'll be punished if you lose a game in your conference championship.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be, but I'm like you. Get rid of all of the conference champions.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's keeping Notre Dame in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play a conference game at all.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're not playing the conference game, no one else should have to play a conference game to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Finish your schedule, and what your record is at the end of the year, that's what we go by. Put them in the playoffs that way.
Yeah, I agree, man, and I think that would put Notre Dame in a real pickle. They'd be like, oh man, like what are they going to do now? Because we can't just play Syracuse and Stanford and then just get into the playoffs. We got to really play some teams with the meat on the bone. And then if they tried to schedule up, then I think they would kind of be their real identity would come into play, right? Because I'm going to ask you this: like, could Notre Dame? How would they fare against Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Georgia, and Ole Miss if they were on their schedule? I don't even know if they would go 1-3.
I don't think that.
Right, they might not win a game. Me neither. And there's a really good team that nobody's talking about. Tennessee. Tennessee's a good football team. They lost to Oklahoma, Alabama, and Georgia. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that team's not even being thought of. Notre Dame, you look at who they've beat, and then you compare that to like who Tennessee lost to. Well, if losses are such a good thing, then maybe you should talk about Tennessee. And I even hate talking about them, just Tennessee, but it's like, damn, they play one hell of a schedule, and they're being penalized, and everybody's being penalized for playing in the SEC.
And you know what, Kyle? I seen some. Let's be honest, man. Who Tulane gonna be?
Nobody.
Who's Tulane going to be? Come on, man. They punished FSU because they lost their quarterback, I think it was 2 years ago. When they lost their quarterback, remember they had to put him in there because their quarterback got hurt?
Yep, 100%, yeah.
Who is Tulane going to be?
Nobody. They're
going to get blew out by everybody on them brackets, man.
100%.
Come on, let's just be real.
Yep. No,
they're just taking a space from someone else.
Yeah, and why have we moved to that in society? Why do we have to be like? Aren't we against like participation trophies? Like, why are we just why? If that team was truly a top 12 team, and they had played some top competition, let's say they had beat like I don't know, they had beat a Tennessee, and they had gone toe to toe with like Texas Tech, and they won those games, and they were a top 12 team. Bring them to the table. Because in that case, they'd probably be a top 12 team. But in this particular case, just because they're like from the group of 5, we feel bad that we have to add somebody. Like, what are we doing here, right? So, and it's like the committee, can you imagine the committee looking at Tulane and just being like, yo, well, they have to make it because of their group of 5. But Bama, since they play in the SEC, we're going to hold them to a completely different standard as opposed to Tulane.
Yeah.
Well, Bama, why doesn't Greg Burns just be like, yo, you know what? We're independent.
And you know what, Cal? Hasn't Tulane lost 2 games?
Yeah.
And come on, man. What are we doing here? Who's on this committee?
Yeah.
Who's really on this? Who knows football that's on the committee?
Tulane lost to Ole Miss 45-10, and they lost to Tulane lost to Texas San Antonio 48-26, and the committee is holding Alabama to the stake for losing to an unranked Florida State team. Look, I get it. They lost to who they lost to, but I mean, come on. You lost to Texas San Antonio. You lost 2 games on the season, and you beat no top 25 teams. By the way, Ole Miss kind of just sliced down the field and scored. It is 7-0 right now between Ole Miss and State in the Egg Bowl. I don't know if you guys saw this. I'm going to get to my call in just a second, Q. But last night, according to Lane Kiffin, Mississippi State broke into the locker room. Did you see this? They broke into the locker room and stole Chambliss' jersey. and they have cameras set up in the locker room, and they stole his jersey. Obviously, they have more jerseys for the players, but still pretty hilarious. What else? Make a final point, Q.
Hey, I ain't got no final point, man. The final point is out there to just go put up the ass at Auburn.
Love
and
it.
go on the SEC championship and then do what you got to do.
No doubt,
and
man.
all this will be over with.
Yeah, good to hear from you, Q. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving,
right.
man. We'll talk to you next time.
Yes, sir.
All right. See
All
ya.
right.
All right, Q calling in from Texas. 661, let's do it. Hey,
Kyle Henderson, it's Quincy Moran. How are you?
What's up, man? I appreciate you calling in. What'd you say your first name was?
It's Quincy Moran.
Man, we went from Quincy to Quincy. I think that's the first time that's ever happened on the show. Where are you calling in from?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, we're also from Texas, too, man. This is crazy because I think Q might be in the Metroplex as well. Wow, wild. All right, so Quincy from Texas calling in after Quincy from Texas just called in. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you being here.
Hey, man, it's good. It's great to be here, and I think I cut you off and, running your line there before I got too excited to start speaking. But love the show today. I'm glad I have an opportunity to get in. There's so much to cover, so much to talk about, but I won't go too long. Just looking at this situation, I think one thing we got to consider is that styles make fights, and so I always have a lot of Bama optimism when it comes to talking about the game and how it's going to turn out. I thought it was a really fun fact that Bama has covered for most of the season, but props to Q. Back in the old Jim Rome days, I would call in, right after him, and I'd say rack him because he has a great take. And I'm not just being biased because he has one of the greatest names in the planet. But I really think the X factor here, and let me pause for a minute. I hope you and your family had a great Thanksgiving. So I let that get by. My apologies.
Yeah, same to you. No, and I did. I really appreciate that. So thank you so much.
It's all changing for us. I got a large family. I got 8 kids, and I don't want anybody to hate on me too bad, but bring it on. But my youngest daughter, she's a dang Aggie down at College Station. So
wait, did you just say you have 8 kids? You're an octo dad?
I'm an octo dad.
Whoa, man! Holy cow! An octo dad. Wow, that's wild. And your daughter goes to A&M. That's down in College Station. They're playing tonight. Well, on the road in Austin. So, anyways, as you look to the Iron Bowl, what you got, Q? Break it down for us as we turn to the page to the Iron Bowl.
Here's what I got, brother. I think the X factor ultimately is Kalen DeBoer and his leadership, his ability to lead during promotion season. I say that because I was blessed enough, to earn a promotion recently. And with promotion, if you stay with an organization, that means that you have got to do your current role and the role that you transition from. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is absolutely one of the most difficult things to do, which is to keep your eye on the prize when you've been promoted to a new role. And so I think there's a lot of that probably going on. And so Coach DeBoer's ability to keep his team centered, to keep his coaches that are getting promotions with their eye focused on the game, I think is going to be the X factor. I think each game, it to me, I would say the Florida State game aside, that was such an anomaly. We've been prepared, and our coaching staff puts guys in position to be successful. I see it week in and week out. I think you guys do too. And it comes down to our ability to execute. And right now, I think that's what, this the next leg of DeBoer's growth and leadership at Alabama is to be able to hold this through, because this is something that Coach Saban struggled with year after year after year because he was successful. It was that attrition rate at the coaching position. So I think that is the main factor, and for him to be able to lead this team through the transition period. And, just before I go, my Bama bias had hoped that DeBoer would bring the guys to Saban's office and sit down with them, like all the heads, coordinators, et cetera, and say, guys, let's paint a vision of what's not happening in college football anymore with NIL and the transfer portal and see what the next leg of a dynasty looks like. Like the hope was that maybe we give this thing 3 years and see how great we could actually be. But that clearly did not happen because guys are moving on. And I respect guys for moving on because I was taught something in business a long time ago, which is, you must be mindful of the most important company in your life, and that's the CEO position, the CEO of your own family. And so you have to keep that in mind. You got to build that brand first. And so I understand that coaches want to move along. We as fans want loyalty. But if we kind of mirror that or look at that through the lens of us as employees and what we're looking to build, it's rare to go with loyalty for the organization over loyalty for, money, et cetera. So I'm just looking at it and going, man, it's a DeBoer thing right now. And if he can keep the guys lined up, if he can keep them moving forward, if he can keep them with an eye on execution, I think we can truly be successful. And I believe that Ty can overcome whatever this mental dip is that he's been going through and just go play football like a wild man.
Yeah.
And I pray that Bama has better energy at Jordan-Hare. I was at that OU game, and I just didn't feel offensively that we had energy. The defense was wild. I mean, they were wild. You could feel the energy from in the stands just from where I was, in my opinion. But that's my take, Kyle. I believe the X factor is Kalen DeBoer and what he can do to lead this team through transition period, because I bet a lot of his coaches are getting pulled in different directions because of how many jobs are open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Q. Thank you so much. And call again next time, man. Good to talk to you.
Yeah. Good to talk to you. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Q's calling in, man, 8 kids. It reminds me of Kevin McAllister's dad from Home Alone. We always wondered, we were like, what did he do to live in that house? And then what was crazy is not only did they live in that house in Chicago, but he also took the entire family to Paris. You remember this? Man, by the way, Home Alone, we still watch that. Home Alone 2 is okay, but like the regular Home Alone is solid. Yo, by the way, Mississippi State just put together a 97-yard scoring drive, okay? Went all the way down the field and scored. And you know what, fam? Help me out. Don't you wish that we ran more RPO slants? Like, we have a quarterback that could run. Man, this team right here, 97 yards, all the way down the field. Pete Golding strikes again. And you know what's crazy is like, can you imagine being an LSU fan? It's like, we want this coach so bad. We want this coach. Do you? Do you want this defense? Be careful what you wish for. Just saying. It's 7-7. These egg bowls are crazy. So that's kind of where we're at, fam. I'll be watching the game with you. Okay. I might do a watch along tonight, or I might come back. I might just go crazy with content today. Truth be told, as I'm gonna put up a Santa Claus up in front of my house. And I told you guys that my daughter has been cast for Annie. Does anybody want to see a clip of her and Annie? She got cast as Pepper. Does anybody want to see it? I'll show it to you guys. You want to see it real quick before I dip out? Give me 1 second, and I'll try to send it to myself, real fast. You got to see the girls perform. They are so talented, Let me see if I can get it before we go and we watch the rest of this game. See if I can get it to myself here really quickly. I'm just so she was cast as Annie. Cast as Pepper and Annie. And here's it. You guys want to see it real quick? Just a little snippet of the show. They gave us a little sneak peek. It'll be at the Bama Theater here coming up. All right. Let's see. All right. So here's Lacey. Okay. Let's see if I go full screen on this. Okay. So set the stage right here. This is my daughter, Lacey. Okay. She's cast as Pepper. This is our Annie this year. The young lady is fantastic. Okay. So they'll be performing at the Bama Theater. Really super excited about Lacey and her talents, and super proud of her. We're very similar. She's very theatrical, and I love my kids to death, so I had to showcase. Okay, so here we go. This is Lacey. This is a 30-second snippet from Annie Jr., which will be at Tuscaloosa Theater here next weekend. Okay, Lacey is obviously dark hair like her pops. Okay, here we go.
Why shouldn't they be? Their one mistake was giving up me. So maybe now it's time, and maybe when I wake, they'll be there calling me baby.
Okay, so that's the 30-second snippet. Hopefully YouTube doesn't pick that up on copyright. But we'll see what happens. But anyways, it's probably worth it because I want to showcase my daughter. So proud dad. Dad life is always my first priority in this great life. So we're really excited about her and the rest of the girls, which will be performing soon at Bama Theater. I'll be watching this game with you, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. As you know, news as it happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube. And I'll be putting up some Christmas decorations and, of course, maybe sliding in a little ham on a little roll or something like that as we continue to eat Thanksgiving food from yesterday. News as it happens. Today is a huge day. I might be back with a watch along. I don't know. We'll just find out. Make sure that you are subscribed. That would be great. Make sure that you're following the Facebook channel. That would be amazing. I appreciate all the super chats. You guys being here. You guys, if you guys are fan funders, thank you so much. And I just really appreciate you guys. So thanks for kicking with me today on this kind of extended special Friday show. Ole Miss 7, Mississippi State 7, first quarter. Enjoy the football game. Be back as news happens right here